Stop. I don't want to watch this video. I don't know who you are.
What up, fam? Welcome back to The Dex, where each week we bring you trivia and battle strategy for a different Pokemon. I'm Engineer Alex.
And I'm Pokekels. Look out! Today's Pokemon is one you should definitely handle with care. Things could pop off in here at any moment.
Ooh, what's that mean?
You know, like... Pah!
That's what you mean by pop off?
Yeah, I mean, all I'm trying to do is prepare you. You never know when this Pokemon will strike, and by the time you do, it might be too late.
That's right. Today, the king of Blush Mountain takes the stage, and Okay, you know, if you're gonna have a bit where you try and scare me, you can't put it on the teleprompter.
What do you mean?
I can read it. I can see that, you know? That defeats the purpose of the jump scare.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, folks, we're about to throw down that weird, evil-looking exploding turtle, so shape up. Today, it's all about Turtonator, so let's get into it before Kelly tries to scare me again, which it looks like she will right now.
Got it. How did you know? How did you know? Turtonator is a large, intimidating-looking Pokemon that hangs out near volcanoes and snacks on sulfur and other materials in volcanic craters. Its diet causes it to excrete an explosive substance from its shell, and yo, let's be real here, also it's dung. Look, Pokedex said it, not me.
Turtonator uses his explosive shell to surprise enemies by hiding flat to the ground and waiting for them to draw near, then striking its tail on the back of its shell, triggering an explosion. Though naturally slow, the element of surprise can be enough to give it the advantage in battle.
Turtonator's definitely got a distinctive look to it that only Kiawe could love, but it's not just a random turtle. Its shovel-shaped head and hose nose most likely draw inspiration from the Amazonian turtle species called the Matamata.
Matamata translates to it kills, and though this species of turtle isn't dangerous to humans, it's pretty scary to fish. Like Turtonator, it hides flat on riverbeds where it gets covered by dead leaves that sink to the bottom. When a fish swims over it, the Matamata strikes with truly explosive speed.
The ambush strategy of this real-world turtle inspired Turtonator's explosive tactics, along with landmines, which I know I don't have to tell you are super dangerous weapons that are buried just below the ground and get triggered by being stepped on. That's how we get Turtonator's A+ pun of a name, which is a portmanteau of turtle and detonator.
Oh, is that it? I just assumed it was like Turtle Terminator because it's like dangerous and stuff, but that totally makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, I usually refer to Turtonator by its Japanese name, Bakugames, but that's just because I watch the anime sub.
Hold up, doesn't Bakugames sound like that guy from My Hero Academia that you have a huge crush on? What's his name, Bakugo?
I do not.
Don't lie, I know you do.
The reason their names sound alike is because Bakuhatsu is the Japanese word for explosion, and Kame means turtle, so Bakugames basically means blasting turtle.
Remember when you spent $50 on blind boxes because you wanted the Bakugo keychain so bad?
And there's more to that blasting turtle power than meets the eye. So why don't we tell you about it in this week's new and ridiculous segment, Poke Alchemy.
Did I get you?
Shut up.
We've talked about our good friend Sulfur before. It features prominently in the designs of several Pokemon from the Alola region, Alolan Mach, Litten, and now Turtonator. This is no accident, especially because of the recurrence of the alchemical references and symbolism all over the Gen 7 games.
In Turtonator's case, the explosive chemical substance on its back is said to be primarily made of sulfur, which makes sense because sulfur is one of the main components in gunpowder. It acts as the fuel for the explosion caused by striking the powder. It fits well for Turtonator's design, but there's a much deeper meaning at play here.
In alchemical tradition, the spiritual world is composed of three principles: salt, mercury, and sulfur. These were called the three essentials. Salt represents the body, mercury represents the mind, and sulfur represents the spirit.
Sulfur was said to have the qualities of fire, most likely because of its real-world proximity to heat sources like volcanoes. Its aspects are said to be heat and dryness, change, masculinity, and of course, the sun.
Though they're called the three principles, there is a special relationship between sulfur and mercury as they are considered symbolic opposites of one another. Mercury is the feminine, cold water, and the moon. Bet you didn't guess I was gonna say that.
Sulfur as a representation of human spirit refers to human consciousness, or the awareness of self and the drive to aspire. It's generally notated by the symbol known as the Leviathan's Cross, which also was said to symbolize rising up from the depths of ignorance.
That speaks to a larger question about Pokemon as a whole. It's always been clear that they are different than normal animals, and I think the closest to an answer that I can get is that at least in the context of Alola, Pokemon fit a very spirit-focused role. After all, they're definitely not animals, they can be turned into light and data instantly, and yet they still have so much depth of emotion and power. Not to mention they're all elementals, which is another huge can of alchemy worms that we don't even have time for today.
The world of Pokemon is still full of unanswered questions, but the best place to start is always with the clues that repeat themselves. We may not ever totally crack the mystery of the Pokemon world, but at least for Sun and Moon, framing it with the philosophical principles of alchemy can help us draw some interesting parallels. See how many you can find while traveling Alola, and don't be scared about discussing your findings. The more information we gather, the clearer the picture becomes.
Yo, you know what just exploded? My mind. As in, my mind was blown.
Yeah, that's a weird way to put that, but I'll let it slide.
And I'll forgive your crush on Bad Boy Bakugo.
I thought we were past that bit.
If the mysterious nature of Pokemon makes you evolve into classic Kachan Rage, don't despair! We'll use that rage on the battlefield, learn how to use Turtonator to crush our enemies, and be number 1!
We all know what that means. Early Pokemon VGC 18 battle strategies for Turtonator start right now.
Heck yeah, they do!
Pokemon.
The VGC 2018 meta is still in its baby stages, but right now we're looking at the return of some serious physical threats like Therian Landorus and Mega Kangaskhan. So lucky for you, Turtonator, while not quite at the top of the pile yet, it's gonna be great for tanking a physical hit or two and turning those threats right back onto its attackers with some interesting plays. Start with the bold one, EV train it fully in HP, and toss the rest into defense and special attack.
Turtonator has the highest base defense of any dragon type, and its special attack is pretty decent as well, but to take it from scary to truly horrifying, have it use Shell Smash, which doubles both attack stats as well as your speed, but at the cost of a 1-stage drop in both defense stats. Counteract this by giving it a whiter to hold. No hitch.
Now, this is a pretty risky play that your opponent might even see coming, so to cloud their judgment a bit, you should combo it with Turtonator's signature move, Shell Trap. It punishes any physical attacks used on Turtonator with a devastating fire-type explosion that does 150 damage before stab. That'll make anyone think twice, and it gets even scarier after the Shell Smash.
But don't forget, it's Turtonator's special attack that's its dominant stat, so load it up with plenty of good regular stab moves too, like Ultra Edition Heat Wave, which has a 10% chance to burn, and that standard Gen 4 classic, Dragon Pulse.
Use these skills to psych out your opponent well, and they won't know what's coming. But, as you know, that's not the only way to train a Turtonator, so as always, here are a few random thoughts.
If you want to double down on your tankiness and open up your item slot for something like leftovers, go with Iron Defense instead of Shell Smash. It raises your already stellar defense by 2 full stages, and you don't even have to worry about critical hits because Turtonator's only available ability, Shell Armor, makes you immune to them. Yeah.
Or, I know we don't cover other Pokemon moves in this section usually, but maybe try this boy out on a Trick Room team. Its speed stat is basically atrocious, so Trick Room would basically make all his moves that much better for going first. Except Shell Trap, that goes first and last, every time.
And finally, Ultra Move Tutors also give Turtonator access to Block, which keep opponents from switching out, and to Uproar, which attacks for 3 turns and keeps everyone from falling asleep. It's too early to guess exactly how players are going to make these work, but they're definitely some good moves to at least experiment with early on in the meta.
And that's it, Turtonator. Don't step on him, or you'll die.
Morbid.
If you liked what you saw just now, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell or whatever it is. And if you want to watch me slowly and diligently stream my way through Ultra Sun, which I've been doing for more than a week now, head on over to twitch.tv/Facianier. It's chill.
It is. For more trivia, strategies, and Pokemon news, click on one of these end card thingies, and if you have the time, why not take a second to acknowledge our Patreon patrons who support us not only financially, but also as the opener on our Rock Band World Tour. I'm Pokekel.
And I'm Engineer Alex. Tune in next week for another explosive episode of The Dex.
Another explosive
episode of The Dex.
Explosions.
Explosions.